TYT Sports, everybody, Ben Mankiewicz, Heather Ankeny. So, did you watch the Browns-Rams preseason game?
I didn't watch the Browns-Rams preseason game. Who did?
I don't know who did. I assume the good people of Cleveland and St. Louis. Cenk Uygur, the host of the Young Turks, of course, he watched, and it's funny because he knew nothing of the story that we're about to bring you, this sort of conflict between the Rams and mostly head coach Jeff Fisher and Bernie Kosar, former great Browns quarterback, who was doing the color commentary for the Browns. The preseason games are not broadcast nationally, although I guess this game was on the NFL Network.
Well, and you can, everyone can watch preseason games.
Right, everyone can watch preseason games, right? So, but Cenk was watching this game, and he came to me and said, Bernie Kosar. Who knew Bernie Kosar was such a fantastic analyst?
Oh, really?
He was so great. He was so wonderfully candid. So candid that yesterday Bernie Kosar called Rams coach Jeff Fisher to apologize.
Oh, he called Jeff Fisher to apologize.
Yeah, because Saturday, Jeff Fisher, or I guess Friday after the game, Jeff Fisher, the game was Thursday night, excuse me, Jeff Fisher went ballistic, blaming Bernie Kosar, saying he'd lost all respect for Bernie Kosar.
I find it refreshing that Bernie Kosar actually had something to say that wasn't just pro NFL, pro athlete. First
there was this, which is my favorite line. The play-by-play guy's a guy named Jim Donovan. And he told Kosar a story about Kellen Clemens, who's like the Rams, I don't know if he's the 3 or 2 on the depth chart behind Sam Bradford, but we know Kellen Clemens from his days with the Jets. And whatever, Kellen Clemens he may play in this league 10, 12 years as a backup. I don't know, but
I would guess.
Not impressive when he has played. Okay. Oregon grad, Kellen Clemens. Signing an autograph, so it was a story, so Jim Donovan tells Kosar a story about Kellen Clemens signing an autograph for the Pope, believe it or not. And then Kosar responds,
I knew the
quote,
Pope was a fan.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I have to watch him the whole fourth quarter. I want to hear more of that guy.
I find that, yes.
And people go to Kellen Clemens like, are you upset by it? Hey, I saw Kellen Clemens. Kellen Clemens couldn't beat out Tim Tebow.
No, he couldn't.
Yeah, Kellen Clemens, and by the way, forget Tim Tebow. Kellen Clemens may not have been with the Jets when Tim Tebow
that was only last year.
That might be unfair to Kellen Clemens. But here's who Kellen Clemens couldn't beat out consistently.
But he probably couldn't beat out Tebow anyway.
Couldn't beat out Mark Sanchez, and everyone was desperate for anybody to beat out Mark Sanchez.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not trying to jump on Kellen Clemens, who's a super, mega, giant, talented athlete in the world, but a backup quarterback who cares? You're allowed to criticize him.
Absolutely.
Kosar called the Rams receivers horrible. Right? Because they kept dropping some passes. They dropped a touchdown pass. Donovan then asked Kosar, what if some of their parents are watching? Kosar replied by saying, I would be embarrassed.
I would be embarrassed if I was their parent.
If I was their parent. So Jim Donovan's like, what if their parents are watching? This is not a high school game.
Well, but that's the trophy society that we've grown up in too. It's like, every kid gets a trophy now. There isn't like a first place or a second place. So if their parents don't hurt their feelings, Ben.
But I mean, I get it. If it were high school, I get it if it's Division III. I almost get it if it's any college.
Oh, really?
Like if they're college athletes and they're playing at Arkansas, you don't want to be that rough on these kids. They're still kids. They're teenagers. But either way, this is the NFL.
Yeah.
And they got to be able to take criticism. And what does Jim Donovan care if their parents are watching? Their parents are watching, they'll be irritated at Bernie Kosar.
These guys have taken more criticism on Twitter, for sure, than they have from Bernie Kosar.
Totally, it's such a great point. I mean, I'm stunned by it. Anyway, so then he adds, Ray Sherman is the receivers coach for the Rams. And by the way, of course, the Rams receivers for since the Bradford era began,
have been
worst in the league.
Horrible.
The worst receivers in the league. And so in the first preseason game, when the Rams receivers and the offense looks bad and aren't really performing, it's a reasonable criticism in general. But he says this about receivers coach Ray Sherman. I'm checking through the itinerary here of guys and coaches to see who the receiver coach is to make sure I don't know who he is, right? Because he's about to lower the hammer, Kosar said, because he's not doing a very good job either. So he suggested that the receivers coach is not doing a very good job. Ray Sherman responds, I don't worry about people like that. Hopefully he'll get himself some help, because evidently he's saying things that he really doesn't have any knowledge about. He doesn't know what the routes are. He doesn't know what my guys are supposed to do. Well, I'm pretty sure they're not supposed to drop.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist or anyone to know anything about football to know that you don't drop a ball.
So I don't know. I find this, and then so Jeff Fisher, then following the game, says this. First off, the Cleveland Browns, first-class organization, top to bottom, has been that way for years. So he's about to Like you get that out of the way.
Totally.
Right. I guess I'm a little disappointed. I feel bad for them that they had someone doing the broadcast feel the need to speak that way about players, specifically on our team and coaches for that matter. I'm just surprised that Bernie has such a lack of respect for players and for this game. So to be honest with you, I lost a lot of respect for him.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
I really
do not
don't.
get it. And now
I
Kosar,
agree.
the Browns formally apologized to the Rams. The organization has apologized to the Rams. Kosar calls Jeff Fisher and apologizes.
It just seems very, everybody's too sensitive. This is the NFL. Come on, buck up, people.
And then
who cares?
Bernie Kosar, who lost his family and a lot of his money and got divorced when I say he lost his family and had some well-documented issues. Jeff Fisher brings that up, which strikes me as way worse than talking about how bad the receivers are.
It's true. That's totally true.
Fisher says Bernie's got his issues. They're well documented. Kellen played well. He played hard, made plays. He got guys deep and had a drop. He played well. Well, so say that. You're allowed to defend your player. But the notion that Bernie Kosar stepped out of bounds because he was candid and didn't feel like he was part of the NFL factory in promoting the game.
There you go. Is Bernie Kosar going to be calling any more games?
They say he's still on for this week's game
Preseason game.
Preseason game.
It's going to be really boring in the booth.
He's still scheduled to serve as an analyst for WKYC Thursday night when the Detroit Lions visit First Energy Stadium for the second preseason game.
I'm going to be watching that game actually now, just to see what Kosar says.
I don't know, man. We're on Bernie Kosar's side, and I don't give a shit if Jeff Fisher was offended at all. And I don't think Jeff Fisher should matter. He shouldn't care.
Like I said, way too sensitive.
All right. So God bless Bernie Kosar.